And we are back. We are United by Rice, where we talk about all things related to AA and HPI in entertainment, creative spaces, and beyond. And I love how my intro's gotten so much more sharper because I have it in front of my face, right? So I'm Junko, one of your hosts.
Yeah. Mine's always easy because I basically just say, and this is Ben. And I'm done.
Which you're always wonderful at doing.
Yeah, that part's hard to screw up. Our guest today is Takashi Cheng, who I interviewed the Friday before the Unforgettable Awards, which happened on the 7th, so it happened on Saturday. But we are going to air this episode just a day or two before it starts streaming on GoldenTV. So for folks, a little bit, we have another episode actually that we need to drop around the Critics' Choice Awards for Asian film and television. Similarly, like this show will live on in like what do they call it? Fast Channel.
It's called Fast Channel.
Yeah, in that world with GoldenTV, and I assume also on their app as well. And having attended also myself a couple nights ago, I will definitely say it's worth watching. And it's a very well put together show with a lot of great highlights. But Takashi was fun to talk to. He's the CEO of GoldenTV. So his role goes well and beyond this show. But,
and just to back up, he's GoldenTV, but Unforgettable is a different organization.
Yes, so
Takashi is not Unforgettable. He's on GoldenTV side.
Well, I think we talk a lot about this through the interview, and even today, perfectly, I wouldn't be able to tell you like the full history. So it's the 23rd annual and the longest running Asian American Awards, and you, I think initially, most folks who kind of swim in this world would assume, oh, this must be a Gold House or Cape event, right? But it's actually jointly put on primarily by GoldenTV and Character Media, who I think GoldenTV in particular got involved about 3 years ago, because that's actually as long as the channel or network has been around. But then, of course, Gold House, Cape, I think TAF, TAAF, so the Asian American Foundation, they all play a role of some form in putting this show on together. And Takashi, without going into detail, he kind of mentions that and is thankful for all of their contributions. But officially, it's put on by GoldenTV and Character Media.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes like the distinguishing between the two, can be important.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how's your conversation with Takashi? Like, where did it take us?
So first of all, I never met him. He also kicks off the show. So when you see it stream, he's maybe not. I guess there's not really an MC, or maybe the MCs. Okay, I think he kicks it off. I guess there's not really an MC, because then he passes the baton to Fala Chen and Randall Park, who did a nice little opening, and then they just kind of jump into the awards. But talking to him was fun. I learned a lot about, as I mentioned, the show, the history of the show, but also we got to talk about what GoldenTV is. We talked to the Joy Sauce gentleman.
Right.
All right, a couple. I think. We'll see when we play the episode, but we talked to him, a week ago or so, and similar, right? Like, here's a couple entities that are really trying to elevate Asian voices and Asian storytelling of all forms: movies, TVs, independent, podcasters, influencers, YouTubers, all of the above, and it'll be interesting to see where this world goes. The awards itself. So the honorees, I'll just read them off because we can do this pretty quickly. Bowen Yang for actor in film. So that takes us all the way back to one of our very first episodes. Remember, we interviewed Bobo Lee. And so this was for The Wedding Banquet. He was getting an award specifically for that performance. He joked. He said, he was amazed he beat out Jackie Chan in Karate Kid Legends. Chloé Zhao for Global Icon, and that was so that they could give Park Chan-wook Best Director. We had Daniel Day Kim for Best Actor in TV for Butterfly, and another show that we talked about quite a bit. Lawrence Shu for Breakout in Film. So Lawrence was the son in Rosemead. So again, we had talked to a couple folks from that movie, including Lucy. Lloyd Lee Choi, who wrote Lucky Lou. I don't know if you've seen that film yet. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
Did I see it? I have a feeling I saw it. I'll just say yes for now.
Okay. Leenda, or Lean, I think she actually just goes by Linda, so I should apologize to everybody that, again, I'm the worst when it comes to knowing all the YouTube influencers, but Linda Dong, Leenda, Dong for digital influencer. She was amazingly funny at the show, and I've heard only amazing things about her, so I can't wait to actually start following her more. Jet Tila for culinary excellence in media. I'm not sure if that's an award they've given before.
It might be newer.
Yep. K-pop Demon Hunters for the Vanguard Award. Last year was Avatar, so they tend to give that to a show. And then make sure I'm not missing anyone. Last but not least, our friend Tay Ao O Hina Pi Hinga.
There you go.
I don't know how close I got to getting that right, but of course.
I think you've heard me say it enough.
Yeah, from Chief of War for Breakout Star in TV. And by the way, of all those luminaries that I just talked about, she gave the best speech. And I think it's funny because you and I have seen her in a very fun mode, right? Yeah. But she was emotional. She was powerful. She really took the opportunity to talk about the importance of this award to Polynesian culture. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
And I might also add, she was burning up that red carpet. Ooh, I know because we're mostly podcasts, but if anyone wants to go on the look at the red carpet photos, United by Rice podcast, also your Instagram, you had a lot of good photos.
I'll post my interview. I'll post my interview of her as well. And she describes her outfit.
There was a whole concept, behind it.
I don't know, some type of I don't know a word to use other than like gelatin thing that then had the shells from her basically her home pressed into it. Just really cool. Really cool. Like, I don't even know how you put it on. But
I mean, really she has some when she was getting ready at her hotel photos. So it'd be really interesting to kind of jump into. I mean, it sounded like it started with a conversation, and it was actually a concept that built the dress around. So I would definitely want to. I'm like, hopefully there's an article, or I will maybe just ask her, be like, hey, can you post something on Instagram, or just talking about the process of the dress? That'd be great.
Sure.
But I also was like, hey, were you doing no carbs for like 2-3 days? She looks hot in it, but I'm like, but in order to pull that off, you need a little bit of work leading up to it too.
Well, I mean, as you know, she's been out here to the States a few times the last few weeks, back and forth for different shows. So,
that must be a tough flight.
She's had to stay in her gown ready form. I also got to meet her sister. Her sister came, and I was shocked. That's fun. I was shocked to hear, or at least I'm sure she. I should be clear that her younger sister was there, and. It was the first time in the U.S., which was amazing for me to hear. So,
that's cool.
So, one of the things that makes these awards, I think, also really good is who they choose to present the award and how tight both the I guess you call it a speech from the presenter, but then also the recipient are. So the show moves relatively quickly. It's basically 2 hours max.
Yeah, I was wondering, what's the... okay.
Yeah, so basically from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. was the red carpet, and then for the folks that were attending, they also had, cocktail hour for folks. It was a small carpet, and I think a lot of people were trying to get on it, but really probably there just wasn't enough time for everybody to get through.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to talk to all the honorees by any means, but I got to talk to several folks. And again, I'll post those interviews.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the show ran basically, it probably didn't start till about 6:30, 6:40, and then to just after maybe 8:20, 8:30, so about 2 hours,
That's
right?
not bad.
So
Not
nice
bad.
and brisk. And it included a few performances.
Okay.
Peng Peng, I don't know these performers, but I'm sure they're all amazingly well known. But Eric Nam, I think he was our
Yes.
closer, and he's, I think, quite well known. He did two
Yeah.
songs, Peng Peng Lee,
Oh.
and it was her singing, and also it was a nice kind of dance performance. She had a group of dancers. Sinéad Harnett did like a ballad, a nice little ballad,
Yeah.
and then if I were to tell you between all the speeches, including folks like Chloé Zhao, and then the performers, the one person that got a standing ovation was actually the comedian Kevin Lee. Not comedian, actually. I should call him a magician, or maybe magician comedian.
Ah.
And again, for those who watch on Golden TV, he does a performance and a couple tricks, but one that includes several members of the audience. And I went up to them afterwards, and they swore to me that they had not
It
met
wasn't
him
rehearsed.
before. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it wasn't like exactly rehearsed or whatnot.
Oh.
So
Are you familiar with the magic world? Most people aren't, but I'm a
I'm
little
not.
bit.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
I
So
have I have friends who are professional
okay,
magicians, who are members of the Magic Castle. So I'll go.
sure.
Yeah, maybe next time. Yeah, you're in LA.
Can you get into
We'll
the Magic
go over there.
Castle?
You actually have to know someone,
But you know someone, so you
and
can get us in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
would love
think
to do that.
I think the only exception is for like Sunday morning brunch.
Okay.
I don't think you need to know anyone. And apparently the
Okay.
food's gotten better. Yeah, because like it
Oh,
was
interesting.
word on the street, like pre-pandemic times. I was like, because they require you to go to dinner and then enjoy the shows kind of
I
thing. So you
see.
have to
Yeah, yeah.
go.
That
The
doesn't matter.
expectation was always like, oh, it's not that good. But apparently
It's better.
their steak dinner or something is very good.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was on a list. So I was like, oh,
Okay.
okay, all right. So
Well,
we'll have to figure out when there's a couple more like Asian magicians are at the castle and go then. Yeah.
definitely. Well, Kevin Lee was amazing. Like it again, like people were actually terrified of him because it's like, oh my god, he's like a wizard. Whatever he just did,
Yeah,
how did he do it?
Did he do close up magic? So he was like actually interacting with the audience member, like like put your hand here or choose it,
Yeah.
like
I don't feel like I'm expert enough to like answer that question. He basically
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a trick where he gave everyone chose a card, but it was what that sequence of cards revealed and the specificity of him knowing which card they chose, which are
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. Okay, got it.
how does that happen, right?
Yeah.
And nobody
Yeah,
can figure
yeah.
it out.
Yeah,
So
the card stuff. I mean, I think all those folks, the magicians who specialize in cards, like they're probably like actual like master card counters because like I don't know how my magician friends who specialize in that do it, but it's just
do it, yeah.
it's
It's better to
absolutely
not
amazing.
know. You know what? It's better to not know anyway. Like I
Honestly,
like to believe.
I think it's some sort of just mind exercise that they're just used to doing it, and it's a very strong muscle. But for the normal folks like us, we're just like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, he was magnificent. He pulled
Nice.
Randall Park up on stage for part of that, and Randall's expression and reaction, kind of classically Randall, was just also very amusing. But so he was great. So it was, again, it was a very brisk show, and then there was an after party, and quite a few of the
And did
folks
you
stayed
go to the
around for
after?
that. I
Did
did.
you
I
go?
went for the show and the after party. It was so. I will thank the folks from Golden TV and Character Media and the PR agency for inviting us there. Last year I did
Thanks
the
for
carpet
going,
award.
Ben.
Yeah, but this year I got to do the whole thing, and honestly, I had like a front, literally the first seat next to the stage on the left.
Nice.
So I felt very well taken care of, and
Nice.
frankly honored
Were you
to be
like
there.
seated at a table with other
Yeah, so they
press
had
people, or what was that?
a combination of round tables, like your typical 8 to 10
Your standard,
people,
right?
and Yeah, and those were usually groupings, logical groupings, like all the honorees and stuff were sitting together, etc. And then they had these like curved long tables that then, to be honest, I would say that's where they put the onesies and twosies, right? Like where I fit in. So I was with folks that actually an individual I knew, they represent a lot of the talent, their talent management firm. So they represent like Simu and other folks. But there were some actors like Christine Ko. Who else? Like there was actually very few media that were attending the show. So again, honored that we got a space and a seat. But the Bing Chen from Gold House, the CEO, was at our table. So it was just kind of a mix of people, I'd like to say.
Okay.
Yeah. But
the show, I was gonna say for people to know, I asked you that question because sometimes media is not allowed at all, so you end up being you have to be outside, and everyone's in one big room watching everything on a screen sometimes.
Well, that'll be me at the Oscars on Sunday, right? Like I'll just be in a press room in the basement, basically. But they let a few of us in, which was wonderful.
But I think for me, I remember it being cold. So I don't know how you'll be affected. I was wearing a dress though, so that's different. You have a suit or tux,
I will say nothing but nice things to the people at the Oscars, but I will be wearing a tux, despite the fact that I will be nowhere near, the show itself.
You gotta blend in with the crowd.
I'm in the building.
Yeah.
But
and also some shows. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say back to Unforgettable. So I had a seat. Again, I think probably because we had been involved early on with the show that they gave us a seat, so it was nice.
Cool. Hey. Cool.
I will just highlight so when people see the recording again. Her speech amazing. I thought it was T. They said Tay, but I'm.
Well, yeah. If you see her full official name, it's Yao, but then she's like go by T. So that's why her Instagram handle is Tea Not Coffee. So
Atsuko, help me with her address.
Okatsuka. Atsuko Okatsuka.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone knows the comedian. She's got the bowl cut. She presents to Bowen, so that's quite fun. She also, in general, was kind of almost like a star of the show because she had the seat right in front of the stage, so she was kind of always involved in the reactions and stuff.
Was it? She was the Lucy Liu. What was the last show you covered? But everyone Lucy Liu was placed.
Lucy was dead center.
Which show was that one?
That was the Critics. The Critics' Choice
Critics?
Asian.
Yes,
Exactly.
Okay. Did people make comments to Atsuko because she's
because she was so slightly different. So the seat that is almost like the back to the stage, the very front seat, that was her seat.
Got it. Yeah.
So of course she was turned, but
she was just don't lose hold.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who was on the other end of that table. Like that table had had Arden and Ji Young, the Demon Hunters.
And vocal.
Who else was at that table? I'm trying to remember. The table next to them was Bowen and Chloé. Like they were packed a couple tables, right? Anyway,
very nice.
Yeah. So, but her presentation of Bowen, of course, is really funny. As I mentioned earlier, Linda Dong, really funny, just kind of the way it was presented to her and the way she acts. And then just really happy for all the winners. Like Lawrence, who not only gave me a ton of time on the red carpet, but saw him in the after party.
Because he doesn't know any better yet.
Yeah,
keep milking it.
And that's kind of what it is. Like he's just so appreciative to be there. And then, one of the interviews I'll drop also, the chairs of the selection committee were Simu Liu and Fala Chen. Fala Chen, if you may remember, played his mother in Shang-Chi. Also lives in Ballad of a Small Player. And she was she was the last interview I did, but lovely to talk to her and talk about her time in Macau, because that's where my dad's from. So
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
So anyway, great show. I really think it's a special show. Like again,
Yeah.
um, I guess this is probably how a lot of the guests feel. It doesn't matter what discipline they are, but somehow I feel like I belong at this show versus feeling a little bit like
Mm,
an outsider when I'm working
mm-hmm,
carpets or other things. It just,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
that was my experience last year too. You just feel like this is truly a community, truly a family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You sense
Yeah.
the emotion in the speeches, even right, like
Mm-hmm.
they sense that, and I think because of that, a lot of the stars, like I'm sure you're not surprised that T would stay till the end of the after party and beyond, but
Yeah.
a lot of them
Yeah.
stay and hang out, and it's
Yeah.
quite fun. So you got to get to
Ah,
one of
yeah.
these.
I will eventually. I will eventually. Yeah, but thanks for covering it.
Yeah, of
Glad you had
course.
fun.
So yeah, so again, March 13th. It may require a little bit of hustle and work to figure it out, but go find Golden TV. It's some Takashi explains it how you can find it during our interview, but I assume you could also find it through the App Store, etc. And then starting
Mm,
March 13th, you'll be able to view it, and I do really
nice.
think it's worth watching. So yeah.
Cool. All
Um,
right.
Anything
Make sure
else
to
you
watch
want
it,
to?
everyone.
Here's Takashi Cheng from Golden TV. Hi, we're back. I'm here with Takashi Cheng, who is our CEO. Did I have that right? CEO at Golden TV.
That is correct.
Yep, and has joined us to talk about an event that hasn't happened yet, but when you're listening to this, would have just happened, which is the Unforgettable Awards down at the Fairmont in LA on March 7th, and then airing on or streaming on Golden TV on March 13th. But Takashi, welcome to United by Rice. It's nice to meet you.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Well, first of all, there's something going on here. So you got a Japanese first name, a Chinese last name. What's your background?
That's a great question. So I'm 100% Chinese. I
Okay.
was born in Okinawa, Japan, and
Ah,
came to the U.S. when I was 3. And so with the Chinese last name and a Japanese first name, and also looking Filipino, growing up was very interesting as an Asian American. So
interesting. Yeah, I
yeah,
could see that for sure. And where did you grow up when you came to the U.S.?
San Gabriel Valley. Well, first couple of years was in the Lincoln Heights area, El Sereno, and then moved into the San Gabriel Valley. So
Got it. Well, um, maybe before we jump into the Unforgettable Awards, I'd love to just kind of learn more about Golden TV. I imagine most of our listeners know Golden TV, but probably not everybody. If I were to tell people, hey, Unforgettable Awards on Golden TV, March 13th, what does that actually mean? Like, how do they get it? How do they access it? And tell us a little bit more about the mission of Golden TV.
sure. So we're available on the App Store and OTT, OTA. It's a fast channel. You can
Mhm.
download it. You can go on your computer and stream it. And we're also in another week we'll be on Comcast's Zumo, um,
Oh, okay, great.
so you can find us there. Our cable partner, which is Chime TV, is on Charter, and that's on channel 147. So
Got it. Okay. And then, Golden TV's been around for how long?
for about 3 years now going on, and its core mission is to tell original Asian American stories in the English language.
Mm. Uh, does that largely mean like Asian American, or is it also taking Asian stories in general, but making sure they're, kind of translated for an English speaking audience?
So the core would be to share the journeys of the Asian Americans that are predominantly in America,
Hmm.
but we welcome Asian stories in the English language all over the world.
I see. And
Yeah.
what's the content typically look like? Is it shows? Is it short form videos? Is it, podcasts? Is it, what movies? What's the content typically look like?
So we have a lot of unscripted
Hmm?
because as a baby network, that was the fastest type of content that we can create. We
Sure.
are in development of several, dramas and comedies and other reality shows that mirror what the Asian American population looks like.
Okay. Now, the Unforgettable Gala or the Unforgettable Awards, they've been around for a long time. Um, I I always actually have a hard time describing. I went to the event last year for the first time, and I've actually have a hard time describing like who puts it on, who we often think Gold House must be involved, but can you describe a little bit more about how Golden TV is involved, and maybe even if you know, like some of the history and evolution of the Unforgettable? I think it used to be called the Unforgettable Gala more, but now I think we're calling it the Unforgettable Awards, correct?
Absolutely. So, what I love most about Unforgettable is the rich history.
Hmm.
Being, 20, this is going to be the 23rd year that we're
Yeah,
celebrating.
amazing.
It's the longest running annual Asian Pacific Islander award show in the U.S. It
Hmm.
honors excellence across film, TV, music, and culture, and it's evolved, right? So, when it began, it was really a response to absence, because for decades, Asian Americans and Pacific Islander artists were contributing profoundly to culture, but yet recognition at a national level really lagged behind,
Hmm.
the reality of their impact, our impact. So the awards was created to correct that imbalance, and not really as a reaction, but as a long-term institution to celebrate, right? And I always reflect, Unforgettable has been celebrating this community and the Asian American Pacific Islander community before anybody else was. And
Hmm.
now there are others that have emerged that are doing it. And that really, I think, strikes a chord in the impact that Unforgettable has made, right? We've sort of led by example. And I know
Hmm.
there's a lot of confusion with whether Gold House is involved, or who's actually involved. The truth to it is that the entire community is involved,
Hmm.
because it takes the entire community. So
Sure.
just as much as we're involved with Gold House, we support them, they support us. We all really collectively, I'd like to say, unite for this, and that's also
Mm.
what makes it so special, is that there are so many folks that you know, volunteer their time and their effort, right, and their relationships into helping, produce this show. But the core of Golden TV's involvement really was 3 years ago. We said we have this longest standing Asian American award show that's never had broadcast
Sure.
audience. Why?
Sure.
And so that was what we quickly, moved to provide a solution for. And when you think about Golden TV, not just is our mission to create original Asian American stories, but it's also to help elevate ones that have existed, are existing, and have never had that moment with a broader audience.
Sure.
So we want our audience to be more than just the Asian American supporters. We want that audience to be everybody in America, everybody worldwide. So really, an Asian America to the world. And so when we select content, and a lot of there's either docu-series or reality shows that we co-produce or we help launch onto our platform, we really like emerging artists, and we really like to shine a light on stories that you're not going to find on your regular network channels. Because the whole point of having an Asian American space like this isn't to really cherry pick just what is shiny, bright, and already accepted by Hollywood, but it's also to
Sure.
demonstrate to people the potential of all these stories that haven't gotten the shine that they need. So,
Yeah, for sure. And it's a wonderful, like I mentioned, I attended this event last year, and it in many ways was a turning point for what I do,
yeah,
because up until that I had really just written across a pretty diverse, when I say writing, like writing articles, interviews, articles. Um, And when I saw the community come together and how welcoming the community was, I thought, I wonder what would happen if I started a podcast and tried to bring some of the people I'm meeting on, and a couple of your honorees have already been guests, for instance, and it's, you know, it it's something that I think is very unique to this event, or maybe the couple other events like this, Gold Gala and CCA has their event, that people do feel like they're in a room of people that understand. It's unspoken, right? People understand, the struggle, and what everyone has tried to do in order to get their stories elevated and seen, like you said. um, is there anything you can share about, first of all, the selection committee? Certainly there's some big names on that list, but also maybe the process, right? Because if you go through, or process slash criteria, or considerations,
Yep.
because when you go through, obviously, the list of honorees, it looks to me, from an outsider point of view, a real effort also to kind of pull through diversity, not just the obvious, hey, these were the big films of the year, the big shows of the year, so we're only going to congratulate them. But when you have people like T from Chief of War, being honored, that to me says like there was a lot of effort put in and a lot of consideration put into getting a diverse set of honorees. But I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, first of all, thank you for paying attention to that. And
Sure.
actually, I think that 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 statement from you alone, I think, made my day because
Mm,
because because for so long, that's really the message that we wanted the community to understand. Right? Is that it wasn't just selected out of a magic hat. There is a
sure.
process. I myself, I don't vote on the honorees directly. We have an independent selection committee that we also very carefully, uh, you know,
Sure.
vet and handpick based on, of course, their their experience, their current involvement, and sort of their own ways of delivering impact in our community. So we have that selection committee that's comprised of these respected leaders across entertainment, journalism, and advocacy. And so you can imagine when they're putting together, these nominees, um, that that independence is critical for credibility.
Hmm.
And so it is, I think, very well thought, very well considered. So there isn't, again, some magic hat we just randomly, pull nominees out of. It's that this committee spends a lot of time, and they're very, I think, qualified, to make and suggest these selections.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure. And you have people like Similu and Fala Chen, and we just had Jessica Henwick on the podcast. Like, you have
yeah,
obviously people that are leaders in the space
yep,
on that
yep.
committee.
Yeah, and so we're very thankful that also because of, I think, the long-standing, award show, that it is able to round up such a unique and amazing group of individuals that can lend that lens. So,
Hmm. Uh, so, question, you look at a name like Chloé Zhao on the list of honorees, and I'll read through the list of honorees in a
sure.
moment, but we're a week away from the Oscars, and it reminded me that last year the Unforgettable Awards took place in December. So I
Yep.
guess actually not even last year, but technically,
Good.
in 2024.
24.
Um, what was the reason to move it into right into the heart of award season? Is
Yeah,
that
that's a great
strategic,
question.
or is that more logistics?
Oh, absolutely. Timing is strategy. And,
Mm,
there were so many events in 2025 that almost organically nudged us towards this positioning.
mm,
December originally was positioned as like a year end celebration, and moving the award show allows us to align more closely with the broader awards calendar and the industry cycles. So that creates greater visibility for the honorees
mhm,
and
mm,
more meaningful engagement with the studios, agencies, and partners. And we really felt like, given everything that happened in 2025, it was almost a nudge, a gentle nudge for us to. We were waiting to do this. This is the time. So let's move it and align it with all the other award shows, and it worked. So yeah.
So we will get. I know last year, for instance, we had a couple people that had to participate remotely,
Yep.
right? But
Yeah.
is it anticipated that you're going to get Chloé Zhao or the K-pop Demon Hunters in person?
Well, that's why you're going to have to tune in to find out. But it's going to be
Excellent.
it's absolutely always going to be the core of, what's really heartfelt in the community is that
Yeah.
inspiration, that momentum that we celebrate. All of that is going to be preserved. So
Sure, sure.
yeah,
Well, I'm excited about the lineup. So the honorees, I'll go
and
through it pretty quickly.
sure,
Bowen Yang for Best Actor for his work in The Wedding Banquet,
yeah,
and of course, just beloved for all the work he's done on SNL and other his podcasts, etc. Chloe Zhao for um, really a film Hamnet that I still get kind of ugly cry tears when I see the ending of that film.
yep,
Um, so amazing. And then Daniel Day Kim, here's where we get into, I think, what the type of recognition that I think makes this event special, right? Butterfly didn't get renewed for
yep,
season two,
yep,
yet the show, his involvement in it, turning it into essentially an Asian show based on a graphic novel that was not Asian characters, is significant to our culture and our people. And
yep,
so the fact that he's getting honored is amazing. You've got T. I always screw up her name, so I'm just going to call her T from Chief of War. Again, another show that's kind of on the border of getting recognition at the big award shows, but for things like this or Independent Spirit Awards, it's great to see them recognized because for the people of Hawaii and I know she's from New Zealand, like the Pacific Islanders. It's wonderful. You have Lawrence Shue, who's amazing in Rosemead, opposite Lucy Liu in his very first film. Park Chan-wook, who is now famously snubbed for not getting an Oscar nomination ever. Yet his movie No Other Choice is one of the films of the year. And then, of course, we've got the K-pop Demon Hunters. We've got Jet Tila for Culinary Excellence. Am I missing anyone? I think that is the list. And it's just, like I said, it's that perfect balance of, yes, the people that you would have expected, Chloe, but then the people on the other end of the spectrum that maybe didn't get the recognition they deserved, and it's wonderful to see that here. Is there anyone you're most excited about meeting or seeing that you haven't met before?
So the great thing about my job is I get to celebrate everybody,
Yeah.
and that always warms my heart. I I'm going to share a little bit of something personal that happened at the last award show.
Mm.
So my friend sent a photo of my young daughter, and I had given her a hug. And I bring my kids to all of these award shows with me because I want my kids and also other Asian American kids and all other kids, other multicultural kids, to see the possibilities when a community gathers, when a
Mhm.
community elevates and a community is supportive, and also to see that things are achievable. I didn't have that as a kid, and
Mhm.
I think that's important to show children all around the world. And so she had given me a hug, and my friend had captured this moment. And in that very moment, what was special was that she said to me, "I'm so proud to be Asian American."
Mm.
And I felt my heart melt. And
Yeah.
I just, and she was, 9 at the time. And I just wondered how many kids that we were able to broadcast to that see this on screen that have never seen this before. And we've been doing this for 20 some years.
Yeah.
How many kids said, wow, I'm proud, right? I'm proud to be Asian American. And selfishly, just my daughter alone saying that to me was enough. But I
Yeah.
know how much uh, any other parent, any other Asian American parent would, I think, feel that same sentiment to hear their child say that too. I unfortunately, as a child, didn't get the chance to say that,
Yeah.
and it wasn't really, I think, an experience for me to have, and to be able to transcend that onto a young child. Uh, that is why we exist. And when you talk about all the other snubs from all these other award shows, and it was very thought out methodically, all the nominees that we had, because we look at them and we don't cherry pick it.
Yeah.
The one thing that cannot be replaced is the heart and the soul of this industry, and the folks that put these shows together, and the authenticity, right, and then again the amount of heart we put into taking notice that it doesn't mean, if this one show doesn't get a season two, it wasn't a great show. It doesn't mean, if another major awards circuit doesn't award this director or producer, that they're not a good director or producer. It's
Yeah.
that we have that lens, and we want our community to know that we don't cherry pick. We authentically want to elevate and uplift our community.
Yeah, it's fantastic. By the way, I did miss two names: Lloyd Lee Choi, Lucky Liu, the writer, and I believe executive producer, produced some of that, and then Leanna Dong, who's hilarious as a digital influencer. And
Yep.
I'll use kind of that younger generation. You talked about your kids. Your red carpet will be filled with, we've reeled off a lot of great names, but your red carpet's going to be filled with lots of Asian American and Asian talent of all kinds from all disciplines. And um, I know last year I would ask a question very similar to what you just brought up, like, what do you see as the opportunity, let's say, for an Asian American actor today? And it is so amazing how you see the younger generation almost unaware of the struggles of the generation before them because they've laid the groundwork, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
And then you bring these people together and you see that appreciation. It's like, yeah, that's the OG, that's Daniel Wu. He's the one that opened the doors, and it is a special event for that. And you know, I it's so the films this year, K-pop Demon Hunters as an example. Like, people now tell me, "Oh, it's trendy to be Asian." It's like, that's
Yep.
never been a phrase that anyone has said to me in my life, and I think it's amazing, and it's great that we have people like you that are bringing these to a bigger audience.
Well, the great what's even greater about this is that you have a community of folks that show up when they're not the folks that are getting the awards, but they
Right.
show up because they show up to clap for their peers, to shine a light on their peers, and I think that that speaks volumes about the folks that take a moment, right, to show up and to do that. So for guys like Daniel Wu, and Daniel Day Kim, and all the OGs, when you talk about, that have paved the way, the Lisa Lings, and
Yeah.
all of the people that have paved the way for us, they've all taken the time to send that elevator back down. I remember very distinctly when Daniel Day Kim said to me, and to many others, is that what matters is once you get up there, you send the elevator back down.
Uh,
And it's across communities, not just within our community. Some people forget that, but there are many people that do remember that and practice that every day. And when you look in the room and you see the folks that that are there participating or have their hands or involvement in this show, you are really reminded that they send that elevator back down.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if I recall, you'll be able to correct me if I'm wrong. Daniel Day Kim may have been part of, like, the original, like, the formation of this event, right? Back when it started as a Korean
Yep.
kind of event. And so I can't wait to see his speech, right? Because he's got all the history and has seen what this event has turned into, from, I think, what was originally like Korean Mag,
Yep.
and a Korean, not deliberately Korean only, but at the time it was
Right.
started that way. to then what it is today, as you've mentioned, the longest running and biggest Asian awards out there.
That's absolutely something for, I think, our community to be proud of, and I'm
Yeah,
tremendously proud because remember, this started off as, an event literally in somebody's backyard and
yeah,
celebrating a small group of people that were unseen, right? And that's evolved into something of this magnitude. And, again, being able to give it broadcast just 3 years ago, that was an important milestone and demonstrated the tremendous momentum and the work, right? Really reflects from the work that we set out to do and the progress that we've made. So
yeah. Well, I know you mentioned like it takes a village. You mentioned folks
absolutely,
like Gold House definitely contribute. I should, of course, mention Character Media
yeah,
is the company with Golden TV primarily behind, I'm sure, most of the logistics of this award. But I'm sure Cape and TAF and others will be there in support.
they're 1,000% supportive. And what's great about all of these organizations again is that in every award show and in it's movement, it's community movement, and I think that really is demonstrated on screen for homes across the U.S. to see, and now across the world. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. So a couple last important questions for you. So last year, I actually unintentionally, but I think I was wearing this shirt last year with like a blazer.
yeah.
Um,
So,
and I'm trying to figure out like what's going to be my outfit this year because I don't honestly, my closet is not filled with anything but more traditional suits. I don't have anything that like culturally expressive. So I'm going to try to find something. I may not succeed, but I'm trying to find something. What are you wearing tomorrow night?
I'm very boring. I'm very boring because every day I get to wear the culture.
You're wearing it right
Culture.
now.
Oh, for sure.
1587 is yeah.
Yeah, 1587 is a good Asian American brand, and I
Yep.
believe in their mission, as well. And I believe in the mission of helping other Asian American founders. So I would definitely be sporting something that's gonna show my cultural pride, right?
Yeah.
But I think what's important is that you wear that pride, in your heart. You wear that pride, on your smile, and no matter what you wear, with your ensemble that goes with that it's gonna complement it. So
No, that's great. And then we ask all of our guests this final question, and I'm very interested to hear the answer to this from you, who self-described as, you know, growing up or born in Japan,
yeah.
Chinese, looked Filipino, grew up in Southern California. We are united by rice. We ask everybody, what's your kind of go-to rice dish when I like to say like what's your comfort food after, let's say, a long day and you're starving and you just want to have something that feels like home.
So Mike, I love your questions. It's that one hit home. Uh, Hands down, bowl of steamed rice, sunny side up egg, and soy sauce.
Amazing.
Hands down. Yeah.
Amazing. We've done over 50 episodes now, and I want to say that with slight variation, like sometimes instead of soy sauce, sometimes
Yeah.
it's, a little bit of chili oil or kimchi, but basically plain rice, an egg, and one other like thing for flavor
Yeah.
is the most common answer, probably like 30% of the time.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the event. And
Dude.
then for everyone listening, again, this will be available on Golden TV starting the 13th.
Yep.
Thank you, Takashi, for
Oh,
joining us. It was wonderful to
thank
meet
you.
you.
You as well. Enjoy, huh? Thanks.
Thank you. All right.